You are all Goebbels! You are all Nazis like Joseph Goebbels! This is Goebbels! You are all Goebbels! You are inciting terrorists! The blood of Steve Scalise is on your hands! The blood of Steve Scalise is on your hands! Goebbels would be proud! Goebbels would be proud! Goebbels would be proud!
Come this way!
Sir, Goebbels would be proud! Sir, you can have it back. Goebbels would be proud. Goebbels would be proud. Goebbels would be proud. Nazis. You are Nazis. Goebbels would be proud. Goebbels would be proud. Goebbels would be proud.
Would you come over here with me, please? You know, what is this supposed to mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, he's a fascist. The pirates...
Wait, why do you say he's a fascist? He's the president of the United States.
He's a fascist.
Do you realize how offensive that is?
I think he's a fascist.
Why?
Because he is.
In what way can you say that?
Because the real pirates are in the White House, in the Senate, and in the Congress. We need one-term limits for all these elected politicians.
Why be so hard on the president of the United States, though, with such an offensive message?
Because he is. He's a fascist.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we've got to...
Inside there now are the sons and daughters and the children of some of the most evil people this world has ever seen, a true synthesis of evil. Bilderberg was founded by Nazis with the CIA and British intelligence at the end of World War II with a plan to take over the world.
We are hijacking their system at a level that they can't shut down and exposing the crimes that they've been committing. To them, beauty and honor and innocence is weak and ugly. They want to remake the world in their ugly image, and we're not going to let them do it.
Dass ich anständig meine Zeit tue, jetzt eine Stimme habe. Höre mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten.
Aspects of the American government that are connected to the corporate state. As Mussolini famously said, corporatism is really a better name than fascism because it's a combination of government power and corporate power. And that certainly describes the United States today. So I noticed that President Obama just recently by an edict raised the minimum wage for a bunch of workers in the country. Just, you know, as one of Clinton's aides said, stroke of the pen, law of the land, kind of cool. That's a fascist impulse because one of the key aspects of fascism is the worship of the executive, more and more power in the executive. It's what the Germans call the Führerprinzip, the leadership principle, that the one man who heads the executive branch is the key guy in all of society. Not just the government, but all of society.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember the golf game? That was one of the biggest political mistakes ever.
Why?
That turned a lot of people off. You know, watching, you know, it just didn't go over.
You mean when John Boehner played golf with President Obama?
Oh, yeah, and Biden and Kasich,
What did you not like about it? It seems to be a really pivotal moment for you.
Come on. It'd be like Hitler playing golf with Netanyahu, okay?
Okay.
Not hardly. In the country this shape is in, the shape this country's in, I mean, no, I don't know.
I feel like we are talking to the Germans after Hitler comes to power.
This is what Hitler did with the SS.
So you claim the things that Democrats and progressives push, pro-choice, abortion, anti-religious liberty, anti-free speech, are the same things that the Nazis kind of pushed and believed about. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the Nazis wanted to kill off the unwanted. The Nazis also believed in the centralized state. So did the fascists in Italy. Mussolini said everything is in the state and nothing outside the state. What Mussolini means is that the state is like a single organism, and each individual is a tiny cell. So our only value is what we contribute to the larger collective. Now, does this sound like the platform of the Republican Party? No. The Republican Party is based on individual rights, whereas the Democratic Party believes in this sort of sense of collective belonging. That's a fascist concept.
Yeah.
Look at it.
There are disturbing similarities between pro-choice logic today and Nazi ideology from the 1940s. David Livingstone Smith, the co-founder and director of the Institute for Cognitive Science and Evolutionary Psychology at the University of New England, talks about this in regards to Nazi Germany's rationalization of their treatment of the Jews.
When people dehumanize others, they actually conceive of them as subhuman creatures. Only then can the process liberate aggression and exclude the target of aggression from the moral community.
Predictably, this is exactly what we're seeing today. According to Amy Littlefield, a staunchly pro-choice journalist, but if we are truly to defend access to abortion and the personhood of pregnant people, we have to be able to say unequivocally that the aborted fetus is not a person. It is not a baby. It is medical waste.
Another tactic, which is common between Hitler's genocidal rampage and how society interprets abortion, is how we distribute blame. In order to brainwash such a large majority of Germany, Hitler had to push the ideology that Jews were actually the perpetrators, making the rest of Germans' lives so much worse.
Obama was a terrible president. He was the worst in United States history. Obama was just as bad as Hitler, was just as bad as Mao, was just as bad as Stalin. Barack Obama, I call him Obama, was the worst president in United States history. So yeah, if you voted for him, think very carefully about what you did. But this is not the topic of the video. The topic of the video is Adolf Hitler was a liberal socialist. Fact. In fact, he was a liberal socialist. Adolf Hitler was very much a hardcore liberal socialist. He hated communism. Hitler hated fascism. Hitler was a socialist. That is a fact. And he murdered my people. Hitler murdered my ancestors. So this topic is very dear to my heart because I'm Jewish. And I'm an Orthodox Jew. I do eat pork, but other than that, I follow the Jewish religion to a T. Yeah, I'm very much Jewish. I'm more Jewish than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a fake Jew who belongs to the Nazi Democratic Party, which the Democratic Party is owned by an ex-Nazi, George Soros. Yes, the Democratic Party is owned by an ex-Nazi, so therefore that makes Bernie Sanders a Nazi, that makes Barack Obama a Nazi, that makes Bill Clinton a Nazi, that makes Bernie Sanders a Nazi, that makes Nancy Pelosi a Nazi, that means Maxine Waters is a Nazi, that means all Democrats are Nazis. That's a fact. Fucking fact, deal with it. Go fuck yourself, you Nazi Democrats, you socialist pig.